So Jill Stein did a debate on the Breakfast Club. Well, it was more like supposed to be, I guess, an interview slash conversation on the Breakfast Club, and it was an interesting interview. Definitely consider it to be worth a watch. And it brought up an interesting debate or discussion on this idea of spoiler candidates, because after her debate, she got a lot of people who were excited for her campaign. She definitely drew in, I think, more support as a result. And, it's an interesting thing, this whole idea of the third party versus, the versus Democrats and Republicans, whether or not the third party is a valuable consideration, considering that there's really no chance in hell of a third party candidate ever winning. We live in a what's the word I'm looking for here? Duopoly, right? Duopoly, is that the word? Hey Siri. Siri. Fuck it. I can't use Siri while I'm recording. I would ask Siri if I was using that word correctly. My English is my second language. My first language is no language. So there you go. Anyway, where was I going with this? Let me drink some coffee for a minute. Enjoy this coffee. Because I just woke up not too long ago. Actually, I woke up kind of late today. I'm on this thing where I want to wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. 4 a.m. every morning. And I want to be in bed by 7, 8, 9. I want to be at sleep before 9 at the latest. And then I want to wake up at 4 a.m. because I feel like if I can get myself to wake up at 4 a.m. every morning, I would get a lot more accomplished during the day. But sleep is very important. Very important. And actually, I have a book somewhere around here on the subject of sleep that I am itching to read. I haven't gotten around to it yet. Let me see if I could find it real quick. Where's that book? Anyway, the book is titled, I don't think it's on my shelf. It's probably in the other room. But the book is titled, Why Do We Sleep? Why do we sleep? This has been a question I've always asked myself, And it's interesting because actually, I heard about this book from Tom York. Tom York did an interview with Stephen Colbert, and it was a great interview. And Tom York suggested the book, Why Do We Sleep? And ever since he made that suggestion, I was curious, and I wanted to read it for myself. Why do we sleep? And why do we sleep? And where do we go when we sleep? That's what not Taylor Swift, another pop artist had a song. Or actually, it was the title of Billie Eilish's album. Why do we not why do we sleep? Where do we go when we sleep, or something like that? Anyway, I don't know why my memory is so shoddy. I haven't done that many drugs in my lifetime. Hardly any at all. I definitely haven't done any hard drugs. I think my lack of mental capacity stems from anxiety, depression, stress. I don't know, too much coffee, or nicotine. These are nicotine toothpicks. They have nicotine infused in the toothpick, and I am addicted to nicotine, especially when it's combined with coffee. I gave up smoking about, I don't know, 6 years ago or so, and I only smoked for like a year and a half or 2 years before I gave it up. And it wasn't that difficult to give up smoking. In fact, they say if you could go without smoking for 1 year, 1 week, or it's either 1 week or 2 weeks of not smoking, your addiction is over. You're not going to crave it anymore. That's not exactly true. You're always going to crave nicotine. I think the thing that got me from stopping nicotine use, or smoking in general, for years after I quit smoking, was I was always in an environment or a place where I did not really want to smoke, right? I didn't really have the luxury to smoke. It would have either came off as unprofessional, or the people within my proximity would not really like it. And out of respect for them, I decided I am not going to smoke anymore. And that's when, years later, I discovered that I can get my nicotine intake without smoking. And that was a revelation that got me back into nicotine. Whether it be the oral patches, where you just put the patch on your gum and it seeps in the gum and you get your nicotine hit, or Zippix nicotine toothpicks, which is an excellent name. It rolls right off the tongue. They really did a good job there with the name. Zippix nicotine toothpicks. Do you like my movie selection? I actually have a good variety of movies on my shelf. It's not the biggest collection, but it's over 100 titles. When I select a movie to purchase the physical copy of, it's usually movies that I really enjoy. Or if there's a movie that I want to see again, I'd rather buy the physical copy than stream it. I'd rather own it. All right, I'm just gonna randomly select a movie here. Let's see. I'm gonna do a quick review of Videodrome. Oh my goodness, Videodrome. What can I say about Videodrome? This movie is insane. It is the closest thing to a David Lynch movie. If you ever seen The Eraserhead or any of David Lynch's material, this is the closest thing to that. This does dream logic as well as any of his other films and any of his films. It is, and this is the copy that I got. It comes in a nice little box. I like the cover art. It's like this weird, it's this guy's face going into the TV, and on the TV screen are these lips of a beautiful woman, or I assume to be a beautiful woman. Someone may be catfishing me, but let's check this out. Inside, you have the VHS. It looks like a VHS because in the movie, this was before The Ring. I faintly remember the movie. It's been a while, so bear with me. It's been a while since I've seen it. But there's something to do with this VHS tape. And he puts the VHS tape in the VCR, and then some freaky stuff starts happening, such as this man's face going inside the TV. No, it's very dream logic. It's very it's very psychedelic. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense on the surface of it. You really have to decipher the message, the meaning, to get what's going on. But I love those kind of movies that are just crazy, wild, out there. Don't really mess with you. See if there's anything interesting here. It comes with this nice little booklet, and it's pretty thick. It's got a lot of reading material in there, a lot of interesting stuff. Little pictures of scenes within the movie. Weird stuff like that happens in the movie. You know, it's interesting. I can definitely recommend Videodrome. I mean, out of all the random selections, this is definitely one of my favorite movies to select here. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I could show that on YouTube. That is kind of there's something going on in this picture. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Anyway, good stuff, man. Like, good stuff. Videodrome. Any of you old enough to remember VHS, VSR, VCR? So, the physical medium for getting movies or whatever were on these cassette tapes. And you had a VCR, and the VCR would have this little slot. And you would slide the VHS tape into the slot, and it was very simple. Usually you had a play button, a pause button, rewind button, and fast forward button. And when you would rewind, it would just, it would just rewind. And if you would fast forward, it would do the thing. It would do the same. And it would fast forward. And if you wanted to rewind the movie or go back, you had like a film tape on the top that you could actually see, and you see these holes. You would actually put your finger in the hole, and you would rotate the hole counterclockwise to get the tape, and you could see the tape on the other side, which you can't really on this, but on the other side you would see the tape actually going backwards, and then you would have one side with the majority of the tape that would be fully rewound, and then on the other side you would have essentially no tape left, just this line of tape with a lot of tape, and then you would play it back, and you would let it play, and as it would play, the tape would go, and it would go around, and then it would go around, and then it would go around, and when you were at the end, now this side doesn't have any tape left. It's just a line of tape and all the tape around it. And then if you wanted to rewind it back, you would, very, very basic. It's very a different time back then. And you could also record on the VHS too. I remember, on Adult Swim, I used to record some Dragon Ball Z episodes. I didn't want to miss an episode, so I'd put it in the VCR, and I would press record, and it would actually record on the tape, the VHS, the episodes of certain things, and you could record over things. And sometimes people would have a tape where they filmed their marriage, wedding day or something, and they accidentally film it over with like some show on TV or something, by accident. There's definitely been moments like that. Let's see, we're getting close to the 15-minute mark. But anything, well, like I was saying before, let's get back on topic. So I was watching the Jill Stein thing on the Breakfast Club, and it got me really considering or thinking about the differences of the third party versus the establishment parties. whether or not you live in a blue state or a red state, you can vote third party. You can vote Jill Stein. That would be fine. But if you're in the voting booth and you really don't want to vote for the lesser of two evils, you have the luxury. If you live in a red state or a blue state, you have that luxury to not vote for the lesser of two evils. You can vote for Jill Stein if you really prefer the Green Party's policies. However, if you live in a swing state, I think it bestows you to vote for the lesser of two evils. Hold back the vomit, swallow the vomit in the voting booth, and go ahead and vote for the lesser of two evils, because I guarantee you, your main job in a swing state is to make sure Trump doesn't get re-elected. But if you live in a blue state or a red state, vote Jill Stein, because Jill Stein is great. Her policies are great. But she's definitely an idealistic candidate. And we don't live in an idealistic reality. We live in a more pragmatic kind of reality. There's no room for idealism here, folks. But I understand the dream. I understand wanting the ideal. But just know there's the ideal and there is what is reality. There is what is reality. Keep dreaming, all you dreamers out there. If you have the luxury to dream,